All right, here we go. 20 points off of 4 turnovers in this game. Cowboys off of 4 turnovers by the Eagles. Okay, that's a nice little throw to show, but you guys got to show more defensive highlights here. Oh, or that. That's a Stephon Diggs over-aggression moment. He was partly responsible for like 10 points in this game by his over-aggressiveness, which hasn't been as much of an issue this year. Minshew can move. I don't think that's a huge surprise to everybody, but he's one of those guys that I think he still thinks a little bit like he's more athletic than he actually is.
So instead, it'll be Jake Elliott from a field goal try, 25 yards out, and the kick is up and good.
The pass protection actually started off okay in the first half for the Cowboys. That would change later on.
This Dallas passing game gets even better.
And as much... Oh, I was about to say something nice about Prescott. Sweat would have another big moment in this game, so pay attention to Josh Sweat. Look, that's a mistake by Prescott, but it's one that every single great quarterback has made. I'm not calling Dak Prescott a great quarterback, but
Prescott looks to run, can do so, has a first.
It's forgivable as long as you win the football game.
Across the 40.
No matter who has the ball, both these fronts are amongst the best in the business.
Come with a blitz. Prescott in trouble. Maddox is there again. Prescott still on his feet. He completes. It's a first down.
Oh, boy. That was impressive. Watch him. Okay. So there's a nice blitz here.
Prescott
gets there just in time. Trying like hell not to hit the quarterback anywhere except the acceptable 3-centimeter diameter hole at his midsection. And they were doing that, but Prescott's strong as hell. He gets out of it. Cowboys would complete 6 straight third downs to start this game.
And the drive continues. Some play. Drive continues. Pollard in the backfield. Fake to him. Pressure coming again. Now they screen it to Pollard. Gets a great block. Pollard with that speed inside the 40. Got a heck of a block from Tyler Biotis, the center.
Pretty good figuring out what to do versus zone or man in this game. Prescott wasn't nearly as good versus man as he was zone. I mean, he dissected the Eagles' zone defense.
That you rush with some integrity and keep him contained in the pocket.
Prescott over the middle, wide open is Pollard. Oh, what a move, Pollard.
You see again, they had time early. I'm going to go back and I just want to see the protection here.
Contained in the pocket.
Prescott over
the Eagles' pass rush would heat up later, but
down inside the 10.
Early on, they were doing a pretty good job against it.
As he got by Maddox, it's 1st and goal.
They must call this the gold jacket formation. They got about 3 offensive line hall.
Okay, so the 3 offensive line Hall of Famers he's talking about. Jason Peters, who was signed at the beginning of the season. Then you got Tyron Smith, of course, and Zach Martin. But Jason Peters has played 3 different positions, a fair amount. He had about 150 snaps total coming into this game. But as we've seen this year, you get this perfect QB sneak, right? You're gonna, oh no, you're not gonna.
Gonna run it to Elliott, who walks in for the touchdown. On 2nd down, give it again. Sanders breaks through Parsons' tackle, has a 1st down and more out across the 40. And a good strong run for Sanders. Glad you're with us and happy holidays to you and yours. Start the 2nd quarter with the Eagles up by 3. And Minshew back to pass. One over the middle and it's intercepted.
This is one of those lapses in judgment that Minshew makes sometimes. I mean, Minshew's going to be responsible for 3 turnovers in this game. 2 interceptions and one exchange that maybe it was his fault, maybe it wasn't his fault. But I mean, that's just you don't have the arm to do that. That's something that's got to be jammed in so fast. I don't know how you go blind with a guy draped over the intended receiver. Especially it's a small guy. That's a small guy. It's Quez Watkins. Don't be jamming that in there to a small guy with a big guy draped over him.
15 now. Four-man rush. Prescott quick throw comes underneath Lamb. It's a long way to go.
All right, you guys could be showing sacks instead of that.
Bring up a fourth down and
There's an offensive bias on the highlight people at NFL.com.
no, they're going to go. Prescott back. Pressure comes. Lets it fly to the corner. Incomplete and a penalty flag. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. And Darius
that's on 4th and 8. That's a big deal.
Unfortunately, he's had a great start to this game.
I don't want to say these were unforced errors, but it was a lot of errors by the Eagles with their backup quarterback that did them in. I say that not by their backup quarterback, but well playing with a backup quarterback.
Four-man rush. Prescott going deep. Has Lamb. He's got it. And the spin.
Poor angles on a few of these. And you're gonna see a poor angle later in the game when T.Y. Hilton comes up with a big play.
On 4th and 8, they got the penalty on Slay to keep the drive going. Penalty here, maybe a free play. Minshew lets it rip, and he's got Dallas Goedert, who's back this week from the shoulder injury.
Goddard has a couple nice plays in this game. He ends up only getting targeted 3 times though.
Last 5 games.
I thought they'd use him more.
Some pressure, floats it, has a man, and it is caught. Beautiful throw to Quez Watkins.
Of course, you can also throw it to Devonta Smith and Quez Watkins.
Here, 3rd down. Minshew over the middle has a first down. It is Brown. A.J. Brown in traffic as his 3rd catch.
I wonder if he thought he was throwing to A.J. Brown earlier when he threw to Quez Watkins. Okay, here you go. There's your QB sneak. It's like the indefensible play. Let me know in the comments if you guys have seen that not work. Like the full bore. It's like a flying Jenny except in QB sneak formation. Like you can't, there's nothing you can do because you got 10 guys really going against 8 guys. I mean, you concentrate all that force right there. And the Cowboys later, I hope they show it in this highlight package, show exactly why the defensive backs have to stay out of the scrum. I mean, that's just physics. You got a bunch of really heavy dudes going up against some not as heavy dudes. I want to see people start doing this out of, like, in the middle of the field. Because what do you do to stop it? We did this in high school. My center, Jeff Farragher. I was a center. Jeff Farragher was my quarterback. And there were JV games where it was just me and Jeff basically QB sneaking our way down the field.
3rd and 7, sweat jump, free play. Prescott sees it, fires, caught. Lamb catches, takes a hit. It doesn't matter.
I'll draw that up and give it to the Eagles so they can check that out. I was reliving my high school glory. I missed this play. Again, like Dak is just tore apart zone defense. He was.
Prescott quick hitter, Lamb again gets a couple blocks. First down. CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches, approaching 100 yards.
Versus zone, he was 24 of 24 for 300 yards. What? That's not right. 24 of 24 for 300 yards, 12.5 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns. Versus man, he was 3 for 11 for 47 yards.
Prescott floating end zone. Gallup can't handle it. It's incomplete. And so
I think sometimes that doesn't tell the whole story. Although that tells a pretty good story. 4.3 yards per attempt against man defense. Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles coordinator, is probably going to catch some heat for that.
Minshew fires, caught by Goedert in stride.
There's another one of Goedert's.
Down to the 35.
So is that 2? He's got a big one coming up later.
They're going best on best.
3rd down, blitz coming.
Blitz.
Minshew, Smith makes the catch. Now did he get a first down? It is close.
Minshew's all right, man. He has judgment lapses that I guess you should expect when you're a little bit rusty. And doesn't have that many games started to begin with.
Minshew throws it away, just like you said. Cowboys got good pressure there.
But instead, they have to throw 3 out of bounds and settle for a field goal.
And mark this as a 47-yard try for Elliott. His kick is up, and it is good. But hold on, there's a penalty flag.
Oh, hold on. There's a penalty flag. I guess it was nothing.
Minshew on a fake. Minshew stands in, has Goedert wide open. Great grab by Goedert, who held on.
There's the Goedert, good one.
Dallas
That's
for a jump ball and came down with it.
That's turning a ball into a 50-50 ball. It doesn't need to be a 50-50 ball.
Good pocket. Minshew underneath. Gainwell in stride. He's got a first down and more. Into Dallas.
It's a tough game for the Eagles because I felt like Gardner Minshew did enough to make people feel like the arguments against Jalen Hurts as MVP were validated, and yet he wasn't good enough to actually replace Jalen Hurts. Obviously.
Sanders going to bounce it outside as a way to go. And tripped up and not going to get there. Well done by Nashawn Wright, who held on and didn't let go.
Cowboys defense, you know, they're not quite as scary as they were. That was a nice play, but and then there's this.
Devonta Smith.
What the hell happened?
Smith rolling. Fourth and
There's sometimes when the Cowboys got super aggressive in coverage here, man.
Minshew rolling, floating, got a man.
Minshew was plenty smart when it came to that stuff.
Didn't let go.
We're going to see a touchdown later where he takes advantage of aggressive coverage too.
Fourth and 3. Minshew rolling, floating, got a man.
Just a well-designed play there to sprout a guy. That was like how the tight end comes clean on actual goal line. Except the toe. Oh, it's Devonta Smith. Just the scariest guy on that offense. It's like when teams lose track of Steph Curry defensively.
On your own 35.
Now it's Pollard in the game. Fake to him. Prescott, a lot of time.
See, man, he had a lot of time there. The Eagles pass rush gets going, though.
Prescott, 4-man rush. Pressure coming. He's in trouble. Gets hit as he throws far side. And it is good effort by Pollard, but it's out of bounds.
It's one of the more heroic incomplete passes I've seen thrown.
And the kick is hooking, but it's up and through.
27-20.
Playing Deron Bland at the outside corner.
4 minutes left in the third.
Minshew ball is loose. It's on the ground. Dallas picks it up and just tripped up his Kearse, who had the interception before. He could have rolled in for a touchdown. Minshew saved that, but the big turnover by the Dallas D.
This is what. If you've watched my previous videos, I've lamented the fact that NFL offensive coordinators can't seem to relinquish control enough to let genuine read options be run often enough. A lot of times they're window dressing. They look like read options. And then these guys aren't helping us out at all in our cause to give quarterbacks more autonomy. And I'll be honest with you, I get stressed every time I watch this mesh point for on a read option. I don't know how they ever get it right.
Who had the interception before. He could have rolled in for a touchdown. Minshew.
The fact that they can be that good is pretty impressive.
Prescott, time over the middle. Fires, it's caught. Dalton Schultz gets it inside the 10. Great throw by Dak Prescott, and it's first and goal. Dallas. Third and goal. Prescott. Rolling, looking.
It's a matter of.
It is. Caught for the
Man.
touchdown.
You guys can hate on Dak, and I understand it. I get it. That's my first tendency, is that I want to hate on him too.
Here's Minshew now.
They score a lot of points with him in there.
Smith held on. How in the world did he hold on
8
to
straight
that?
with 27 plus points. Most points scored with him as a starter.
Can't find anyone. Rolling, throwing, caught for the first down. Devonta Smith. What a job by Gardner Minshew to keep the play alive.
Minshew's going to find himself in some conversations.
6. Minshew fires, caught by A.J. Brown. He holds on and he's down to the 12.
Might be in a Jets conversation.
Another beautiful third down throw from Gardner Minshew.
Zero coverage. There's nobody back for Dallas.
3rd and 6. Everybody's coming. Minshew fires.
This is the one. All right. You're going to run zero coverage, and watch at the bottom here.
There's nobody back for Dallas.
3rd and 6.
You're going to see Micah Parsons, like, ooh, boy. Micah Parsons, I was trying to use my pencil to show you on the screen. I'll use my cursor instead. Micah Parsons down here, come clean. But because it's zero coverage, there's nobody helping over the top here. Minshew understands that, A, there's probably a blitz coming, so he's got to get rid of it quickly because they've got minimal people in protection here. And B, he doesn't have to worry about any traps or anything like that. He can kind of see it and throw it, which is what he does here.
There's nobody back for Dallas.
3rd and 6.
So you got Micah Parsons down here coming absolutely clean. He knows he's just got to wait long enough to let the route develop and then get rid of it, and boom. And then they got the rookie down there in coverage. He could play that a little bit tighter. You gotta take some chances when your defensive coordinator decides to take chances. I saw online criticism of this, and I'm astounded. And I have to say, I'm guessing it's just from Cowboys fans who just wanted to, be angry at the Eagles in this particular moment. Devonta Smith, it looks like he's putting on a mask, kicking in the door, and then stealing all the Salvation Army money. He's dressed in green. He's being the Grinch. I feel like an homage to the Grinch and/or Brett Favre is an appropriate display on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. Good job.
With heavy pressure, gets it off to Ferguson. Good move. 1st down and more. Ferguson still rumbling all the way out near midfield.
Watch White there, the defensive back. I feel like this is a half-hearted. When you're the guy that makes the mistake here, just poor leverage. I don't think you can unless you're going to tell me that Ferks, as he's zigging and zagging, is faster than the defensive back. I thought that was a lackluster effort at trying to make up for your mistake.
Pressure again. Prescott in trouble, and down he goes. And now the Eagles pass rush starting to get home.
Sweat. They didn't play the play before this was when Hassan Reddick had the strip sack. And the ball came out, and two officials initially ruled it a fumble recovered by the Eagles. And then, in startlingly fast form, they reversed it. I'm guessing from the eye in the skies. They had some help from the booth. So that's what created this 2nd and 21 situation. Crucial moment in the game coming up here. Now I'm excited. It's 27-34. It's going to be 3rd and 30. Nobody converts 3rd and 30, so you figure, well, okay, you got a little arm punt here, I suppose, right? They've got soft zone coverage. Surely the cornerback and the safety are going to be prepared for whatever Dak Prescott is unleashing. So he'll either throw it out of bounds or do an arm punt where even if it's intercepted, no big deal. Oh no, I'm going to take a bad angle and watch this right here. Okay, so Josiah Scott is looking up for the ball, and it looks like he just doesn't track it right, because if he had tracked it right, he would have had just as much, if not more, chance to get that ball than T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton used to terrorize my Houston Texans for 200 yards receiving 7 times a year somehow. And they sign him off the couch. He's the latest guy to come off the couch to a playoff contender and make contributions. I guarantee you that play has Jerry Jones thinking even more that he needs Odell Beckham Jr. If T.Y. Hilton can make a splash and a social media presence, then just imagine what Odell Beckham Jr. will do. Reports are that he's still in conversations with him. I hadn't seen this. This must have been a good bit of route running because he was wide open. They're showing the fans a lot on the broadcast, I guess, because of the whole Christmas thing.
2nd down.
Michael Parsons getting some heat. Oh, boy.
Is it a catch? Let's see. Devonta Smith.
Man.
Yes, it is.
Devonta Smith, too small, right? Oh, you won't be able to beat press man coverage.
Who's got it? Looks like Bland has it.
Bland,
Interception number 5 for Jerome.
after not playing the first month of the season as a rookie, is now one off of the league lead in interceptions. And he was the one that was in coverage on that zero coverage blitz earlier, showing his rookiness a little bit, but he's been very, very good.
The second one that Watkins had wrestled away from him for an interception.
Yeah, Watkins had a couple wrestled away from him. Not a gigantic dude.
A lot of space inside.
Prescott, another quick throw over the middle. It's Lamb in stride, and he has what looks to be another first down.
30 for 30 against zone, according to a fancy stats site.
And make this a longer field goal.
Pressure coming. Prescott gets rid of it. Knocked away. Gallup, the intended.
Not so hot against man.
Great play by Kayvon Wallace. Kick is up, and kick is perfect.
Up by 3. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left.
Sanders in trouble. Lost the football. It is loose, and it's still loose. Dallas says they have
Turnovers, man. Turnovers, but also
they do.
Cowboys were very good offensively for a lot of
This Philly defense needs to stand up right now. They can
Philly
still
mistake
stop the clock
reasons.
4 times.
Yeah, Prescott on a keeper. He's got a block. Prescott racing inside the 10. And a first and goal for Dallas.
You know, I think I talked through the play earlier. They didn't show it where the Cowboys lined up in short yardage formation, like they were going to do that. They were going to do that guy pushing QB sneak, but then they pitched it out.
And this kick is true.
I think to Ezekiel Elliott or Pollard, and for a nice run.
They don't give you the clock stop.
Quick underneath, Gainwell rushing up the middle across the 40-45. Good gain, 1:13 to go. See if they save that timeout. They will. 1 minute to go. 4-man rush. Minshew escapes, pumps, throws. It is caught on the sideline by A.J. Brown. Great catch and a first down. Pressure. Minshew hit as he throws high. Oh, what a catch! Devonta Smith went up and got it.
It's going to push the line that way. One-on-one with Micah Parsons.
It's blocked. Minshew can't find anyone. Here comes Parsons, running for his life and just throws it away.
Parsons. These guys have not been producing sacks
Just lost it up. Nobody home.
like they were earlier as a defense, but they're having an effect. I'll tell you what, I mean, this is the perfect example of how much ball security matters. With Minshew, he was 24 of 40 for 355 yards. I feel like there's a little bit of Ryan Fitzpatrick to his game where, okay, those 2 interceptions that he had were kind of, throws that he shouldn't have had the testicular fortitude to want to throw, but sometimes he doesn't know his own limitations. If he'd gotten lucky on those and they'd been completions, then you wouldn't be necessarily having the same conversation or that other exchange and the read option that went awry. But, so, I mean, this is one of those if stats. Like, if you erased the 4 turnovers, it would have been the Eagles' second best performance of the season by EPA per play, expected points added per play, according to True Media. That's okay. But those turnovers matter. Prescott was 27 of 35, which is 77.1% for 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, an interception. That it's easy to point that interception by Sweat and say, "Oh, well, look at what a clown Prescott is." I mean, that's one of those freak things that happens so rarely when a defensive lineman gets an interception, and you've seen every really good quarterback do that. Unless there's some kind of streak I don't know about with Dak Prescott throwing a bunch of those. The Eagles' defensive EPA per drive was their second worst of the season per True Media, which I think matches the eyeball test. I think the Cowboys were very, very efficient there. That 3rd and 30 was a killer. And some of those mistakes that they've made defensively are not going to reflect well on Jonathan Gannon, who, by the way, in the name mix for future Texans head coaches, my team. But Prescott, I said earlier that they were doing all right in pass protection. He ends up getting sacked 6 times. I think even in the first half, some of the plays in which I felt like he was getting good pass protection was more actually Dak Prescott doing a pretty good job of, he's got a good sense for when to flee the pocket without panicking out of the pocket. And he has that sixth sense of where the pressure is coming from. If it's good protection everywhere except one place, you shift away from that place. And I thought he did a good job with that. It's the 8th consecutive game that the Cowboys have had 27 points or more. And according to The Athletic, the Cowboys still lead the NFL in points scored with Prescott as their QB. I don't know if that means that, like, specifically when Prescott is their QB or whatever. They've scored a lot of points with Dak Prescott. That 3rd and 30 typically has a 2% chance of being completed, which actually sounds a little bit high. I can't remember how many through. It seems like one out of 50 times for 3rd and 30 plus. And with a lot of those maybe being more desperation moments or heaves. And that sounds about right. So that was a very critical and improbable turn of events there where the Cowboys were not playing well on that set of downs with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They let up 2 really bad sacks, including one which could have been a turnover. And then they convert on 3rd and 30, partly because of a mistake by the Eagles defensive backs, but also because Dak Prescott, picked it up, noticed it, understood it. So 20 points off of 4 turnovers for the Cowboys. I don't think either of these teams come out of this game feeling incredibly awesome. I think it's a little bit of a shot of reality and a dose of fair warning about some of the things you're going to face in the playoffs. But I also think that I think that Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Gardner Minshew. And in a lot of ways, this still hurt his candidacy for MVP probably because they managed to make a Cowboys defense, which previously had been quite the studly defense, but has had his issues as of late. I think Gardner Minshew helped himself out. I think Jalen Hurts still looks better than Gardner Minshew, but Jalen Hurts might have gotten knocked down a notch in the MVP if you care about the MVP race and whatnot. My team, I'm just trying to figure out if they're going to draft Bryce Young or not. Okay, so leave me alone. Leave me alone with your highfalutin discussions about MVP. You disgust me. I'm just joking. Subscribe.